Most of us travel, see a lot, and come back with photos. We're snapping away, trying to capture everything, but not really sitting in the experience of a place. I started to notice this on this trip, moving from place to place, capturing moments, but not really taking them in. So in Washington, D.C., I wanted to try something a little different. Not to just see it, but pay attention to how it actually felt to be there. For the first part of our stay, we were at the Courtyard Marriott in Foggy Bottom. It was simple, comfortable, and really convenient. What stood out wasn't luxury, it was how easy everything felt. It was comfortable. We could walk almost everywhere. The lobby had this relaxed energy, and there was even a small outdoor space that made it feel open. The room itself was functional in a good way. It gave us space to settle in, get some work done, and ease into the rhythm of the city. Kevin was happy to have a seat that actually supported his back while he took a call and worked on a few quick emails. I was even able to get my workout in. The workout space was organized and equipped with what I needed. I try to work out on vacations when I can, and I was pleasantly surprised that I had the floor space that I needed to set up. Later in the trip, we moved to St. Regis, and the shift was immediate. You can see, look at this entryway. There were doormen waiting just to open the door. Everyone greeted us immediately. The upholster furniture, the chandeliers, a very traditional feel of this lobby space. It felt more grand, more opulent. Grandfather clocks, large floral bouquets, brass fixtures, cherry accents, and animal print rugs. Look how detailed the ceiling is. I thought the marble floor in the hallways were beautiful, but the hard surfaces meant noise would carry. And if I'm being honest, I was able to hear the movement and the voices in the room as I traveled through the hallways. I wasn't able to make out what anyone was saying, but I could hear the shower going, and that kind of killed the vibe a bit. In the bedroom, the gold tones continued, but in a more contemporary fashion. We were happy to get the upgrade with the larger room, but we were told we wouldn't have a view, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. I liked the space. I liked the storage space that we got, and I was able to actually spread out a little bit. Kevin immediately hangs up his clothes, usually when we get in, because he has suits that he needs to hang up, and we definitely had the space for it. But the one thing we weren't as happy with were the seats. Like, he still has to get some work done in the room, and as you see, the seat is a little less comfortable, not very practical for a desk setup when you really have to work. So one thing we really lucked up with was spring in Washington, D.C. Cherry blossoms were everywhere. I mean, we really lucked up this time. I was so excited. I usually hear about cherry blossoms in Japan, and I totally forget about Washington, D.C. And honestly, if I would have planned to be here for cherry blossoms, who knows, I might have not made it, but being here at this time felt so special. I remember walking into the small shop and seeing cherry blossoms everywhere, on pretty much everything, on prints, textiles, clothing, and my creative juices were flowing. Washington, D.C. is such a walkable city. Everywhere I looked, I was in awe of the architecture. It felt like walking through a textbook. I mean, everywhere my eyes wandered, there was such beautiful details. I loved looking at the windows, the doors, the roof, the columns, and everything in between. And can you imagine these buildings as backdrop to the beautiful cherry blossoms? If you can make it here during this time of year, I definitely recommend it. As we continued to walk, I noticed lampposts, ironwork, patterns repeating across buildings. There was not an end to the amount of architectural details I was finding. There's a sense of structure to it, balance, proportion, something that quietly grounds you as you move through the space. At one point, we passed a plaque of Frederick Douglass. And moments like that stop you. It just reminds you that a place isn't just designed, it's layered. So we have these layers on the sidewalk, layers on the buildings, layers everywhere. And then just the natural beauty of the cherry blossoms as well. We walked past the World War I Memorial, open, reflective, a space that doesn't force you to stop but invites you. And that became the rhythm of our trip. Not trying to see everything, just letting certain moments land. There's so much to do in Washington, D.C. that it's just nice to kind of just walk and just take in the moment. For lunch, we stopped at Old Ebbitt Grill. So with this place, it was recommended by our neighbor. It has a very established feeling, dark wood, classic detailing, a sense of history in the space. We had mussels, fish and chips, and a Reuben that we shared. They actually split our plate because we told them that we were going to share our meals. So that's why we have all these plates on the table. We had dinner at Founding Farmers, and that was a completely different vibe. It was more friendlier, busier, more energetic. Here we had the chicken and waffles, Comfort food, definitely elevated, and it didn't disappoint. And there was Tate. That was my go-to in the mornings, a place I kept coming back to every morning. It's a good place for coffee, breakfast, and lunch. Light filled, calm, intentional. I really like places like this, simple and easygoing. I also spent time in a few museums. So DC has so many museums and they are free. I'll give you a quick overview of the ones I visited, and each one had a completely different vibe. I was very curious about the Renwick Gallery. We had passed by one day and I wanted to do a quick stop in. So although I was saying slow down, don't rush, I did want to kind of check it out. So I did kind of like rush through this one a little bit, but I kind of wanted to get the vibe of it. So nothing here felt very heavy or crowded, just imaginative. And if you can believe it, these portraits were actually made of cream of wheat. Like, who thinks of that? That blew my mind. But anyway, I moved on to the National Museum of African American History. The National Museum of African American History and Culture felt completely different, much heavier, much deeper, something you feel as you move through it. Now, this isn't a place to rush through. It asks you to take your time, and I did. I spent an entire day here. At the National Gallery, I found myself drawn to the architecture as much as the art. Columns at the entryway, soft light inside. A reminder that light itself shapes how we experience the space. The Asian Art Museum felt calm in another way. Arched entryways, tall ceilings, quiet courtyards. Everything works together to create stillness. The National History Museum was the opposite. Large, expansive, almost overwhelming. It pulls you through the space instead of asking you to pause. The National Air and Space Museum. The entrance almost feels like a wing stretching out over you. And then you step inside and the space just opens up. Massive, airy, like a hangar. The National Museum of the American Indian. This is my favorite exterior. This one felt the most organic. Curved forms, flowing movement, water outside. It doesn't feel rigid, it feels connected to something older, more natural. As I walked along the National Mall, I kept coming back to the cherry blossoms. The softness, the way people gathered around them, the way they don't last. And that's what stayed with me. Not everything I saw, not every place we went, but that feeling. I didn't want the moment to just live on my phone. So I turned it into something I can keep, a simple cherry blossom frame inspired by the trip. Something I could use to hold on to a moment that would have otherwise passed. So instead of the trip becoming just another set of photos, I gave it a place. Something I could come back to, not just scroll past. If you want to try this for yourself, I've made the cherry blossom frame available below. And if you're looking for more designs, I've added the link to my Etsy shop as well. This trip reminded me sometimes what stays with us isn't everything we see. Sometimes it's what we choose to notice. Thanks for watching and hit subscribe below.